Oh, football fans, what a week 11 was, but we all know the main story here, so let's get to it. Yeah, well, it happened, folks. It finally happened after coming so close to defeat. There was defeat for the Chiefs. Yeah, we all saw this coming because, like I said, there were about four, maybe five games Kansas City should have lost, and Buffalo was right there, right place, right time, and as a result, the 72 Dolphins could pop the champagne. Yeah. And Bills fans are, oh boy, celebrating like it's a Super Bowl because let's face it, this is their Super Bowl. And yeah, all of a sudden, this is our year, this is our year. Funny, when Cowboys fans say that, they get mocked, but nobody mocks Bills fans for that. Here's the thing. Yes, we all knew the Bills were going to beat the Chiefs. You know how we all knew this was going to happen? Because this wasn't January. The Bills could beat the Chiefs in November. They could beat them in December. January, that's another story. And that still has yet to be done. This Bills team has not beaten Kansas City when it counts. All Chiefs fans are going to do with this loss is just say, wait a couple months. We hate every other fan base hates it, but that's true. That's what they're going to think. And when that certain month happens and the Chiefs win again, well, we all know what Bills fans are going to do: deflect and make excuses. So yeah, congrats, Bills. You beat the Chiefs. Now, can you please do it again in January for once? You know, a lot of things are changing in this society, but there's one thing that I'm glad still exists. The Bears still find ways to lose to the Packers. In this case, it's a blocked field goal of all things. So yeah, the Packers decided to borrow some of the Kansas City Chiefs' devil magic and block field goal to win the game. It shouldn't have come to this. We should have really flattened the Browns. We should have flattened the Bears. But hey, the win's a win. It's 11 in a row against Chicago. Ugh. Just when the Bears and their fans think they've turned the corner, they're gonna finally slay the green and gold dragon. This happens, and there's one man who's getting a lot of blame for it. Imagine being more hated in Chicago than Aaron Rodgers. That's Matt Eberflus. So they hired him as head coach in 22, and it hasn't really improved much. Now, last year they were 7-10, and that led even me to believe, well, the Bears might actually be pretty decent this year. Still more the same. They're the bottom of the NFC North. They still can't beat the Packers, and Eberflus has a terrible division record. Terrible, 2-11. He didn't get his first division win until last year. Last year was his second year as head coach. Yeah, so Bears fans want this guy fired. They wanted him fired yesterday, but he's still around because the McCaskies, well, they're the McCaskies. I really don't need to say much about this. This game happened. The Lions showed up. They breathed, and that's how they won. And Jacksonville said they were going to fire Peterson had they lost. As of this point, he still has a job there. Make it make sense, Jacksonville. Lo and behold, the MVP of the Steelers from this past Sunday's game against the Ravens. It was ugly. It was gritty. It's the AFC North. It comes with the territory. For the second time this season, the Steelers won a game where Chris Boswell scored all the points, 6 field goals, just like the first week of the season. And the Ravens look mighty, mighty human right now, especially Justin Tucker. Tucker has missed two more field goals. He's been missing a lot. I think Boswell's jersey number matches how many field goals Tucker's missed. I think it's that many. That's usually a career for him. It sucks that we're living in a world where Justin Tucker, of all kickers, has the yips. But that's the reality we're in. That's the reality we're in. And the AFC North, it's basically Pittsburgh's to lose. They've got this. A close second to the Chiefs losing for Week 11 is the Niners losing at home too. So yeah, Geno Smith pulled out a game-winning touchdown against the Niners, and all of a sudden, the Seahawks have some life. Though in that division, it just keeps getting interesting. So Arizona was off, and the Rams won. And the Rams won. So with that, Arizona's still in first place, but now you got a 5-5 logjam that the 49ers are all of a sudden in the bottom end. Why they're in the bottom? Because they've lost 3 division games. Even worse, they've lost to each of their division rivals. Arizona beat them in Santa Clara. Seattle beat them in Santa Clara. And the Rams beat them. That was a home win for the Rams. But the Rams go to Santa Clara in a few weeks, and that'll be Thursday Night Football. Yeah, and here's the thing. They pretty much have everybody back. CMC's back. Kittle was out, but he's not much of a factor. And Debo's been underperforming, which pisses me off because I drafted him in a bunch of leagues in fantasy football. So, yeah, Niners are in deep trouble, especially since they got to go to Lambeau on Sunday. Oh, boy. This was a wild one. So, the Chargers had this game won until they didn't. It was a 3-touchdown lead that all of a sudden went away and became tied. And what happened after that was the two teams trying to offer each other the game. You take it. No, you take it. No, you. You know, I get it's the holiday season, but you don't have to be that charitable. But in the end, the Chargers did win it. They looked really good, 7-3. They were kicking major ass. They're only 2 games behind Kansas City in the standings. Ooh. As for the Bengals, well, they're in deep trouble. Burrow and Chase showed out again, but they lost. They've showed out in a lot of games this season, but they're 4-7. A lot of people say something is seriously up in Cincinnati, and it doesn't look good. They need to pretty much win about, let's see, they got 6 games left. They need to win about at least 4 or 5 of their last ones to even have a semblance of a shot. Oh, Dallas. Joe Mixon ran over that defense like they stole something, and the game was over at kickoff. Houston easily rose above their bad choke job at Sunday Night Football with a big win on Monday Night Football against their Lone Star State rivals, if you will. Hard to believe this was once upon a time the first ever game in Texas history back in 2002, and Houston won that game. But yeah, Dallas is just totally screwed. Cooper Rush isn't any good. Dak's out for the year. They got Zeke back because reasons. They're playing for the draft, and the worst part about this is we're going to be stuck on Thanksgiving watching a game between the Giants and the Cowboys, which is basically a tank bowl. They're going to be playing for draft picks because neither team is going anywhere. Giants are actually in worse shape than the Cowboys are, and they just benched Daniel Jones finally. So yeah, that's going to be an interesting Thanksgiving. So that's it from the NFL front, but I have more football to talk about. Up north, the Grey Cup took place, and the Argonauts won it. Oh, man. I watched this. This thing was just amazing. It was an amazing game. The Argos beat the Winnipeg Blue Bombers to win our second Grey Cup in 3 years and our 19th overall. Given all the ups and downs the team went through this season, it's amazing that we went from all of that to top of the heap in the CFL. It was just amazing. I'm still giddy about this. But yeah, the Argos, Grey Cup champions, and here's hoping next year we get number 20. So what's in store for us for Week 12? Well, Week 12 starts tomorrow with the Browns hosting the Steelers. That's going to be interesting, even though the Browns are pretty much dead. The Chiefs are going to get their payback in Carolina against the Panthers. The Bears face the Vikings. Fun fact: one of Eberflus's 2 division wins was against Minnesota last year. The Lions are in Indy. As I said, the Packers host the Niners, and the week will end in SoFi Stadium with 2 games. Sunday Night Football, Rams host the Eagles. Monday Night Football, Chargers host the Ravens. It's Harbaugh versus Harbaugh. That's going to be interesting. So that's my recap. If you like this video, click the like button. If you're on YouTube, could subscribe. Could subscribe if you want more. If you're on TikTok, hit that follow button. My story about week 11, and about the Grey Cup will be featured. Check it out when you can, and I'll be back with another recap next week. So stay tuned.